Hi friends, welcome back to part 2 of Tunisian Entrelac. Please tell me you're here by clicking the like button to indicate your attendance. So I went ahead and made another new little swatch out of the pink because that was the first row that is made. And I'm going to pick up the magenta to work this next row. So I've shortened my swatch a little bit so it'll be quicker for us. And I've got my regular crochet hook, not a Tunisian hook, and I've got my yarn. So I know that this is the right side of my work because the tails are over here. If the tails were over here, it would be incorrect for me as a right-hander. So I know that over here is where it is at. Okay, so we have along the side 6 rows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It is in that 6th row where we are going to join the new yarn. You can just pull up a loop with that new yarn, even without a slip knot on the hook. It is okay. So now we will begin working down, picking up stitches right here and working this way, grabbing these stitches on the adjacent square as we go. So we are working a full square now, not a triangle. So we will Tunisian simple stitch in each of the Tunisian simple stitches of the previous row of the triangle until we have 6 on the hook. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we're going to add the 7th one, which is the first one of the next block. Okay, so just like we started making blocks, if you pretended this was our foundation chain and we just grabbed the next available unused chain, we're just doing that with the next available unused stitch. Yarn over and pull through 2 loops on the hook once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, 6 times. So I will tension that up nicely again, and we will continue working the magenta square. If you missed part 1, go ahead and go look at that first so that you're not like, what the heck? So anyway, we are going to continue by making 4 more rows of this Tunisian simple stitch, 7 stitches at a time, pulling up as if to Tunisian simple stitch, 1 in each bar across. Then when we have 6 bars pulled up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, we know it's time to take the next available unused stitch on the adjacent block. Then yarn over and pull through 2 loops on the hook. Remember, we do not do a yarn over and pull through 1. On this pattern, every single time we will yarn over and pull through 2. That by pulling one up in the next available stitch or chain, it kind of counts as that yarn over pull through 1 action. So it is a little confusing, but you totally can do this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Crochet is such a relaxing and valuable use of our time that this would make an excellent blanket, and I find Tunisian crochet in particular very relaxing and rhythmic. I love the return pass. This little backward motion is so much fun, and even though it uses a lot of yarn, it's really fun and feels quick because you can make these blocks so fast. And you only need a regular hook because you only have at most 7 loops on your hook at any one time. So when we have the 7 loops, we're going to yarn over and pull through 2 loops on the hook all the way across. When we have the 5 rows, do I have all 5? 1, 2, 3, 4. Nope, let's do one more. When we have the 5th row, then we will bind off with slip stitch like we did on the first set. It's kind of a row, but a big row there. Grab the next one, yarn over and pull through, pull through, pull through, pull through 2, pull through 2, pull through 2. Now we will bind off this square by slip stitching simple stitch wise. So insert your hook, simple stitch wise, grab the yarn, pull it through that stitch and through the loop on the hook. Simple stitch wise, grab the yarn through that stitch and through the loop on the hook. We are just slip stitching, and the method of where we're putting the hook is what makes it different than a traditional crochet slip stitch. Now we will go ahead and slip stitch in the last loop anchored. Okay, just like we did on the previous set. Look how pretty that is. nice and flat. The tension is really good. So looking at the next block, we're going to not work in the top 2 loops like you would with traditional crochet. I'm going to go ahead and Tunisian simple stitch in each of the vertical bars across, taking care to pick 1 up in each loop. When I have 6 loops on the hook, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, we know it's time to grab the next available one on the adjacent piece, which happens to be the triangle at this point. Yarn over and pull through 2 loops on the hook. So much fun. I'd like to give a shout out to my channel members. Thank you so much. So the next row, we're just continuing to make a square by pulling up Tunisian simple stitch, 1 in each. Channel members have access to the emojis during the live streams, and sometimes they get some extra messages from me in the community channel that's directed right to them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The community tab, rather. Yarn over and pull through 2 loops all the way across. Okay, here we go. Are you having fun with this? Tell me what you'd like to do with this. Tell me how this inspires you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Single crochet, pull up a loop in the next available stitch or space. Yarn over and pull through 2 loops on the hook all the way across. We will do this for 5 rows. We now have 1, 2, 3, so we've got 2 more to go. Okay, this is how it's working out. I love the geometric and neat and tidy ness of the stitch pattern. It is really satisfying to me to see the stitches so neatly worked up. That's often why you guys see me working with solid colored yarns and smooth yarns most of the time, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, because I love stitch definition. I love being able to see the stitches. That's what crochet is all about for me. I love the stitches, 1, 2, 3, 4, so got 1 more to go. And so when we have eyelash yarn or super fuzzy yarn or pom-pom yarn, while it's a lot of fun, you can't see the stitches, and that makes me sad because the stitches are my favorite part. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If you can't see the stitches, then it's a big blob. Not that it's an ugly blob, it could be a really beautiful blob, but still, it could be any stitch pattern and no one would know. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it is time to bind off with slip stitches as if to Tunisian simple stitch all the way across. What's your favorite part of crochet? Is it the picking colors? Because we're certainly doing that today. And then on this one, we will slip stitch in the last, it actually shows, yeah, we're going to go ahead and slip stitch in the last stitch instead of the last one used, just to fasten it off there. So pretty, okay? Just to kind of even it out. Now we're going to cut this one. Remember that all these Tunisian rows are worked on the right side, so if I want to add a new color, I am going to have to tie off the old color no matter what and join the new color over here. The back side is looking like this right now. Looks like garter stitch, just like Tunisian crochet does. And I will grab the blue. Okay, so the blue is another triangle row. Starts with a triangle like the pink did. All right, we're ready to join the blue in the same spot where we joined the pink, the 2 pinks, so that all of them come together in one nice little point in the triangle. So I'm grabbing the yarn. I don't even have a slip knot on it. I'm just going to pull it through to the front of the fabric. I'm going to chain 2, 1, 2. I'm going to draw up a loop in the first chain from the hook, or the second, like not this one, you can't really pull it up in that one, but the next one. So it's sort of the second chain from the loop, from the hook. And then pull up the loop in the side of the next magenta stitch. So there are now 3 loops on the hook. Got it? You see it? Yarn over and pull through 2 loops on the hook twice. Okay, so we're going to then increase like we did on the previous pink triangle by placing the hook in between. Okay, do you see what's going on here? So we have first vertical bar is on top, stacked on top of the first vertical bar of the first row. Then here's the next vertical bar. So we're going to increase by placing a loop right in here, and then we'll pull up a loop in the actual next vertical bar and in the next stitch. So that increases. So in between, then in the next stitch, simple stitch wise, and then in the next available unused stitch on the next adjacent square. Yarn over and pull through 2 loops on the hook until you are down to just 1. Now we will increase again. So this first loop stacks on top of that loop. We will increase by putting the hook in here. Then we will pull up this loop, that loop, and one on the next available space. So there's my increase. Do you see it? So this is Tunisian crochet. So I've just increased in the space. I've increased, or regular 1 for 1 in the Tunisian simple stitch in the next stitch, and then pull up 1 in the next available unused stitch on the adjacent square. We now have 5 loops on the hook. We're going to yarn through and pull through 2 loops all the way across. Okay, increase and then even across. And yarn over and pull through 2 all the way across. Oops, I dropped one. Pulled through too many. It's all right. It's just yarn. Need 1 more. We're going to pull up a stitch. Oh, I'm sorry. Increase. Increase in between. Pull up a bar in each simple stitch across so that we will have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and the next available unused loop on the next one. We have 7. We know we're done. We've done our final row when we get to the number 7. Yarn over and pull through 2 loops on the hook until 1 loop remains. Okay, then we will slip stitch in pattern with the Tunisian simple stitch, slip stitching in each stitch. Don't increase, but just do 1 for 1, binding off with simple slip stitch as if to simple stitch all the way across. Okay, and then slip stitch where the final one anchored. Okay, the next block we will Tunisian simple 1 for 1 in each of the next vertical bars. 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and in the next vertical or next available unused space on the next adjacent square, yarn over and pull through 2 loops on the hook all the way across. I can feel my hook grabbing just a little bit. It's the humidity in the house, and it's also probably a little bit of tension. So crochet is supposed to be a relaxing and valuable use of our time. It's definitely valuable. It can be relaxing, but if you find you're choking up too hard on the hook, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, it's a good reminder to take a deep breath and relax your grip. Make sure your gauge hasn't gotten too tight. If it's not relaxing, it might be time for a break. Okay, so we're going to keep going with this row, pulling up simple stitch 1 for 1 because we're making a square until we have 6 loops pulled up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then we know it's time to get the next available unused stitch. Yarn over and pull through 2. I pulled through too many. Back it up. Okay, we have 1, 2, 3 rows made on this little square. So it's time to do some more. 1, 2, we will end up doing 5 rows for the square. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I don't really mind counting on this one because it's only 7. So it's not too much of a burden to count for this pattern. Okay, let's do another. And I want to get it right. That's a lot of stitching to pull back if you get it wrong, isn't it, on this one? And there's some fudging you can do, but when it's very geometric like this, I want to make it as precise as possible. Yarn over and pull through 2 loops on the hook. I now have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we are done with this square. It's time to bind off the square by slip stitching across. And then we get to do another triangle to make the edge like a bookend. And then don't forget to slip stitch in that stitch where it anchored on the last piece. The end triangle, we're going to draw up a loop in each of the remaining 6 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We will Tunisian simple. 1, 2, 3. Do you like to increase or decrease more? I think decreasing is kind of more fun. It goes down by the total each time. And then grab that last, pull up a loop in the last remaining, I would say unused loop, but it's actually used loop. So at the beginning where everything anchored in the same spot, we're going to anchor everything in the same spot over here with 1 more loop. So there will be 7 on the hook. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. Yarn over and pull through 2 loops on the hook. Anyway, decreasing is fun because every subsequent row is 1 fewer stitches. So we will just Tunisian simple stitch. This time we will pull up 5 loops. There will be 6 loops on the hook instead of 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So on the next row I know there'll be 5. Yarn over and pull through 2 loops on the hook all the way across. Okay, pull up loops all the way across, but we're stopping short by 1. Now there are 5 loops on the hook instead of 6, so on the next row I know there will be 4. Yarn over and pull through 2 all the way across. 1, 2, 3 on the hook, 4th one here. Yarn over and pull through 2 loops on the hook. Oh, wait a minute, back up. I wasn't paying attention. Let's pay attention. Yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2. Okay, we're right on track. 1, 2. We have 3 on the hook. Yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2. Pull through 1. We have 2 on the hook. Yarn over and pull through 2. Okay, so we did that final row. So these 2 sections, the magenta and the blue, will be repeated for the length of our project. This would be a great scarf also, but it's going to be different on the back. It's not reversible. And in the next video, we will talk about binding off or fastening off to make smooth edges with the bookends of the blues on either end of our work. So click up here for part 3. Click up here for part 1 if you missed it. Thanks. Bye.